revolt. I've explained why I say that, and just to be sure, this is to the ballot box. If we can get all of those, about 50% who don't vote, to vote, and I'll be quite blunt, for yours truly, or a man like yours truly, they would have a real leader and representative of the people, and clear up, clean up, bring to justice, especially yours truly, of honors and financial compensation of my money that they have forcibly stolen. And so we have to revolt against the revolting quagmire that George Bush, the senior, and Hoover, and have with assassinations, murder, cover-ups, forced grand theft, especially of my Xerox and laser beam. But this is by 009 and an addendum to frankly demonstrate some of the body of work I have achieved in world-class science and inventions, and frankly mathematical physics, cosmology, even athletics, and various other disciplines like social science, political science, called dirty politics by a lot or most, and in the U.S. it's obvious. Over 52% of this may, especially if this is just for the voters, of those who vote, and then they poll them, think the U.S. is corrupt. They don't think the U.S. really represents them. Now, if that's of the voters, which is only about 50%, you add that to the 50% don't even vote, and you have 75% of the people in the U.S. do not trust the U.S. government. This King George, Queen Hoover hypocrisy of assassination, murders, cover-ups, forced grand theft, etc. That is the real situation. Now, as 009, I concentrate on bringing to all you beautiful girls, and all girls are beautiful by nature, absolutely. And I think a medley is street songs. So I usually practice, and then in the early morning, like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, I'm relaxed. The acoustics are better, and I then practice hitting the low notes, and see what I can do as far as imitating some of the great vocalists, like Ezio Pinza. He sings Some Enchanted Evening, and it's on the South Pacific, that song. And the one I have, it shows the sun setting, and his voice is really good. The only thing is, when the three tenors were so successful, and there were so few buying any more real vocalists, they were all now jingle jangle type of instrumentation. that knows, and the young people by the records, no records were selling except of my opinion, quality classical music, worthy of what I call the august body of real professionals who know they're good, and they are good, and they have confidence. And I have that, if I want to demonstrate, I have that confidence and that degree of confidence, and I will, I think, demonstrate that now. I have 4 poems. There may be 5, but one of them I have worked with a combined to try to win a contest. But the other 2 I submitted were real good, and I'm going to say one of them at least. Let me demonstrate then what I say I mention about those who are worthy to be mentioned in this august body of intellectuals. Fermat's last theorem in prose. Now, you have to understand that Fermat was a mathematician in France, and he put forward an equation and altered it, and then couldn't get the solution to it, or supposedly he did, and he scribbled it someplace, but he couldn't find it, or nobody could find it. And they've been trying to prove his proof that it's unprovable. It has to do with the equation of a circle, and you increase its exponent by an integer. When you do that, you cannot obtain a solution. But he is supposed to have obtained a solution and scribbled it somewhere, or the proof that it couldn't be proven. That's it. Well, I resolved it. And again, the Englishman from England at Princeton was hid himself up in the attic, and supposedly without anybody knowing. Now, he's living with the other mathematicians and climbs up into the attic day after day, weekends, holidays, whatever. And he's working on the proof that Fermat's last theorem is unprovable. And you have to prove it's unprovable. And I said, I have it resolved. Wow. Well, they worked it in such a way that when I applied for the, I think it's $10,000 prize in Germany, from Germany, that they wouldn't accept, or they couldn't find mine. But he said, oh, when I thought of it, it was so beautiful, I scribbled it down. No, they had fed him my solution. But they couldn't take the chance of saying, look, this is the solution, because then the contest was the proof that it was not solvable. You couldn't resolve it. And I wrote them, and I said I have it solved, but they were told and forced not to answer. So there was a girl, and she had a column, and they said she has the highest IQ in the world, is the smartest person in the world, and you send letters to her and she'd answer them, answer questions. And so I told her I have the solution to Fermat's last theorem. They either told her, or she wouldn't say, well, here's somebody that doesn't have as high an IQ, but he has the solution of what I say is unsolvable. and I'm supposed to be the smartest in the world. So then I says, I know what, I'll be a gentleman, and I'll tell her I'm having a party, and with music and dancing, and she and all, as far as this dance. And this is what I wrote. Fermat's last theorem in prose. 350 years ago in France, mathematician Fermat offered all this chance. Take the basic equation, says he, of a circle, x squared plus y squared equals z squared. It will be. Now increase the exponents to n greater than 2. Then, my friends, all you will have to do is resolve my x to the n plus y to the n plus z to the n equation in only integers is the stipulation. Claims of solutions range far and wide. How could yours truly buck the tide? He obtained a reference book by the big IQ, supposed best mathematician to me and you. Attraction and brains was the combination. What a challenge. I must present an explanation. To Fermat's last theorem, if I am to advance, the author has, and you are all invited to the dance. Was told not to, or didn't dare publish it, even though publish everything that was sent to her in her column, didn't dare write or answer. Now, the 3 poems, I don't know, in songs I think it's a medley. The one that is solid is We Should, for it is all natural to mourn. This is in honor of all of your relatives and friends. We should, for it is natural to mourn, remembering family since they were born. I would gladly exchange my life for theirs. Heroes all, life in paradise, God's heirs. For each fallen hero, I say, rises again. For that is Christ's promise they will gain. All of us don't personally know all of them. We just pray. Acceptable is this honorary poem. Now, the second poem, literature, poetry, and a poem. The artist challenge, the artistic, this is the one I submitted, I thought should have won. And I even use in the first part the word one, which sounds like one because I knew Hoover and their criminally insane crimes. But upward and forward. Literature, poetry, a poem. The artistic challenge of poetry, I am told, is far beyond me. However, I comprehend the poem trees, so fine, set to music like a summer's breeze. Why not try to see what I can compose? Perhaps my poem just might bud forth like a rose. They're keeping me anonymous, saying after I'm done. Then write on my headstone a poem this man at least wrote one. Poems are composed for you and me, and possibly later for the world to see. They are art and beauty with words that rhyme, and possibly can be set to 3/4 time. I have always dreamed that I could write a poem that millions, well, many thought bright. At year's end my verse is get tossed like a useless toy. A poem, if I could write just one for all to enjoy. I'm going to repeat that last. See, I have 4 space, 4 space, 4 space, 4 space. I call it a 4x4. There's this expression in mathematics about matrix. You have a 4x4. I have always dreamed that I could write a poem that millions, well, many thought bright. At year's end, my verses get tossed like a useless toy. A poem, if I could just write one for all to enjoy. I've never read a poem better than that anytime, anywhere. But I have now the second one of 3 I sent to that contest, which they did not only didn't declare me some winner and all the prizes and honors they gave, wouldn't even answer. And I call it Beauty. This is to all you beautiful girls out there. All girls are beautiful by nature. Beauty. When I look at a lady, what do I see? Is it attraction or is it beauty? What does the discipline of science say? Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder all the way. But the eyes are an optical instrument of perfection, and the least irregularity becomes a rejection. You fools, to accepting what is only smooth and beautiful. Better that you were plucked out than not be dutiful. Can't you see what is best for thee? Her beauty is her soul, her personality. Now, when I was young, I tried to imitate Bing Crosby. My brother, who taught himself how to play the piano. He's a great all-American man. He could sing and had a voice like Dean Martin. You look at Dean Martin, you see my brother. Really. And then he had a voice more. He would imitate Perry Como. He liked Perry Como. And he could hit the notes like Perry Como. So I have now maybe a medley in which I will walk through them. Cor ingrato. Catari, Catari. Perché mi dice si parlò di amare? Perché mi parli a cuore? Mi tormente, Catari. Non ti scorda, cartaggio da te, or cuore, Catari. Non ti scorda. I'm not hitting, I should have listened to the tune and then imitate it. I have to listen to the tune 2 or 3 times. I don't have the music in front of me. I can understand some of the music. because the poems were so good, I don't want to do it over again. So I'll try it this way. Cor ingrato, Catari, Catari, perché mi dicesti parole amare, perché mi parli o cuore, me tormente, Catari. Non ti scordare che l'agio da te orcore, Catari. Non ti scordare. Catari, Catari, che veni a dicere stu parla che me dà spasame. Tu non ne piensa a stu dolore mio, tu non ne pensa, tu non te ne cure. Cor ingrato, tale pigliato a vita mia, tu è passato e non dice pensa più. Well, I've sung it way better, in fact, than the previous videos. So I'll pick it up again where, try to remember the tune. Catari, Catari, che veni a dicere, stu parla che me dà spasame. Tu non dice piensa a stu dolore mio, tu non ne pensa, tu non te ne cure. Cor ingrato, t'hai piallato la vita mia, tu è passato e non dice pensa più. The conditions are right now, I can't really belt it out. I would kind of wake up other tenants. E non dice piange più. Now that's a song of a man that this girl is not friendly to him, and it actually says that he doesn't think of him anymore. But I said, look, I didn't understand the words, even though my Italian descent. And I thought maybe it was a romantic song of a man, of a romance he could have had. And I have a girlfriend, school girlfriend, Caterina, real beautiful girl. And all girls are beautiful by nature. So I said, I'm going to maybe someday get bold and write it as a romantic song. You see, in opera and so forth, they have drama, all this killing and you know. Why not have happiness and put emphasis? You know, have happiness and put a little effort and emphasis on its meaning. So I'm going to give it a try, a whole college try. Grateful Heart. Catari, Catari, di te queste parole dolci per me. Quando sorrido e parli, io ancora felice. Catari, do it again. Grateful Heart. Catari, Catari, di te queste parole dolci per me. Quando sorridi e parli, io ancora felice. Catari, come bene a ricordare il mio affetto. Si prega di tenere a ricordare. Catari, Catari, su cosa si intende per i tuoi piacevoli parole per me? Sei un permesso, I should have practiced it. And, tired, and I'm getting a little where I'm not hitting the low notes like I prefer. Grateful Heart. Catari, Catari, di te queste parole dolci per me. Quando sorride e parli, io ancora felice. Catari, come bene a ricordare il mio affetto. Si prega di tenere a ricordare. Catari, Catari, su cosa si intende per i tuoi piacevoli parole per me? Sei un permesso raffinato, lady, a signora, si sei permeroso e attento, un cuore grato, a grateful heart. All's well that ends well. Un cuore grato, sei stato grande nella mia vita, saremo sempre amici. Sì, siamo sempre amici. I get to those low notes. Un cuore grato, sei stato grande nella mia vita, saremo sempre amici. Sì, siamo sempre amici. I like to hit the low notes. So that's Grateful Heart, romantic song. I'm going to practice it one of these days. I'm going to really belt it, hit the notes. The third of this medley is that of Ezio Pinza. Now I got to think of how he sings and recognize the lyrics, which I have read, but I don't have memorized. You should memorize it. And the main thing is then after I talk for a while to remember the tune. This one I think I can remember. Some enchanted evening, I'm going to walk through it like some enchanted evening. You may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room. And somehow you know even then, that somewhere you'll see her again and again. Some enchanted evening, someone may be laughing. You may hear her laughing across a crowded room. And night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of her laughter will sing in your dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell you why? Fools give you reasons. Wise men never try. Some enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you feel her call you. I'm going to start that over again, that last set. Some enchanted evening, when you find your true love, you will feel her call you across a crowded room. Then fly to her side and make her your own. Or all through your life you may dream all alone. Once you have found her, never let her go. Once you have found her, never let her go. Now I built the last two stanza, and at that time, anybody who sang a song had to be a tenor. It's 3 tenors. Nothing was selling, only by a tenor. So I think they told him to raise his voice and hit it like a tenor. And I actually, believe it or not, say I sing the last two stanzas, the last 2 sentences better. Once you have found her, never let her go. Hit the low notes. Once you have found her, never let her go. Once you have found her, never let her go. I think that's a better ending than moving up to tenor voice and drifting off. Well, yeah, I think you have to be, I find this true. And it's better to be bold than old. So I say to all you beautiful girls, practice safety and have fun. And thank you.